Tommy's best chance. Oh, the stream's on. I was just gonna say that like WinFakt have the best chance trying to leave as many custom maps as they can in. I wonder if Navi will remove like all of them. I think it's like their best chance is to get Mirage. But I'm assuming that Navi removed Mirage and Forge that last time.
Yeah, but the problem for WinFakt is that against WinFakt, Navi could leave Nuke in if they want. They could just only remove the customs, because why would you fear WinFakt on Nuke if you're Navi? Like, you have no reason to believe they'll beat you on it.
That's true, but at the same time, they did lose to ESC Gaming on Nuke. They did lose to a couple...
I think that ESC Gaming was better than WinFakt, mate. Just my opinion, but I think it was.
I mean, yeah, but I'm just mean, like, do you think Navi would normally have lost to ESC on any other map? Yeah,
I thought it was an upset, but even so, I thought that ESC Gaming, especially the way they played at that tournament, was better than anything I've seen from WinFakt so far. And that's not hating on WinFakt, they just haven't done anything to that level yet. I mean, that's the same ESC that was close to beating SK on Nuke. Inferno, rather.
Yeah, so let's go through, what maps do you think that Navi will remove, and what maps do you think WinFakt will remove?
I would actually assume that Navi will remove the 2 customs, because, well, I mean, it depends. Maybe they do remove Nuke. If they remove Nuke, then I'd say remove Nuke and Forge, because I actually don't think Navi would mind playing Mirage if they had to.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think that Navi can compete with WinFakt on Mirage. I do think WinFakt's best chance or best map is Mirage, so getting them on that map would be huge. But yeah, I definitely think that WinFakt is going to remove Inferno almost 100% from talking to Tommy. I don't think he's confident on that map at all, and especially playing versus Navi on that map. The last time they played, what did they get, 16-3'd on Inferno?
Yeah, huge scores like that.
Yeah, so...
See, that's the biggest problem for WinFakt, is that, believe it or not, they might have had a better chance against SK. Because for them to beat Navi, the way I see it, they have to outplay Navi in terms of tactics, and I don't see that happening. Especially the way Navi just played that series. Whereas if they played against SK, I think it's possible that if WinFakt had played really hot and SK had been just like a few players were having off games, then I think then it would be like an open door. But I don't know.
I will say that
to me, Navi is like an overwhelming favourite. I'd make Navi like a 75% favourite here.
Yeah, I would say they're definitely like a 70+% favorite in this game. I do think that you know how Navi obviously likes to play Tuscan. They're confident on it. I think WinFakt actually would match up versus them on that map decently on T side. I don't think that they'll be able to hold off Navi on their T side. But the kind of strats that I know that WinFakt runs on that map are very quick.
Which map? Mirage?
Sorry, Tuscan. Did I not say that?
Okay. Okay.
On Tuscan, they run really fast sewer strats, and they have a couple strats that a lot of teams don't even really know can be done on that map, and I don't think Navi knows that, like, what WinFakt does, unless they anti-stratted them, which they haven't really had enough time to do. I guess they could have previously, but I'm assuming they would have focused all their energy on SK, and not really have worried about WinFakt that much, and just kind of wing that when the match gets to that point. But
okay, but here's the problem. Let's say WinFakt completely outplays Navi tactically, which is a huge if. Then how does Navi's skill not just counteract that?
Well, I'm not saying that they're gonna.
No, but it would have to. Well, in my opinion, Navi not only have to get completely outplayed in the head game and like the strategy, but then they'd have to like have off games as well. Like I can't see how WinFakt doing otherwise.
The strats that they run on T side actually don't require them to actually have to kill them with skill. Like, you'll see what I mean. They run the sewer strat where you get out of sewers, and people don't even know you can get out of sewers that fast, and they'll just kill people in the back. Like, Sanine and Markloff actually just hold flashes out in A site and the sewer box. So the only way that I see, like, I definitely see WinFakt getting 2 free gun rounds, like 100% on T side. And if they get pistol plus 2 free gun rounds, you're looking at like a 6-1, like a 8-1, like, start of a game. I'm not saying that's going to happen for sure, but you know what I mean. Like, I don't, unless Navi anti-stratted their previous Nuke games, which I don't think. I mean, it's Nuke. Their previous Tuscan games. I think they'll definitely get like a lot of rounds on T. Like I said, I don't know if that will be enough to win overall, as you just saw Navi like 14-1ing SK on their T side. But you know, I think that's definitely like a good chance for them to win a half at least.
Yeah, but I think the problem there is, even if you grant them that one half, like, that's still not the game, and then even if they won that, that's still only one map in the best of 3. Here's the big problem for WinFakt,
I was
I
was not arguing that they were going to win the BO3. I was just saying that if they want a chance, I think they should. I think Tuscan is a decent map for them, and Mirage. If they got those two, that would be like the ideal scenario for WinFakt of map choices.
Which, yeah, but I think that's a problem in itself. Like, I don't think WinFakt want to play Tuscan. And so here's the big problem for WinFakt. Okay, they want, in my opinion, they want to play Nuke and Train. Well, Train is the best map for Navi, and I would have said WinFakt would have said it was one of their best maps. So I think WinFakt probably have to throw Train, because I think it would be a little bit cocky to try and play on Train. Like, I don't think they're good enough to win. So let's say they throw Train, then that leaves, they can throw Nuke as well. Well, those are the 2 maps they wanted to play. Those were their 2 best maps. So then they're left with a series where if none of the customs come up, they end up playing Inferno, Dust 2, and Tuscan versus Navi. And that is actually a terrible 3-map set, in my opinion. Like, that's two maps of those are guaranteed to go to Navi. So let's say they get lucky and they get Forge or Mirage. Even if they got Forge and Mirage, I don't know that WinFakt is good enough on Forge that's even a favourite for them. So let's say best case scenario, they get, like you were saying, Mirage and Tuscan. Maybe I mean, I personally wouldn't grant WinFakt the favourite on either of those maps, but let's say somehow they're the favourite on Mirage, which I don't think's been proven. I actually don't think they'd be a favourite on Tuscan, so I think it's like a really bad matchup in general.
Yeah, well, I definitely think Navi obviously are the overwhelming favorites. I was just saying, in best case scenario, Tuscan, they might be able to win that half, and then, you know, if Tommy does, or Lurpus calls some aggressive CT rounds with a little bit of luck, you know, maybe they can grind out, like, you know, that one map. I definitely think it's unlikely that they'll, you know, sweep a 2-0 or even a 2-1 game, but, you know, this is all like just theory. It's best case scenario, basically.
Here's the problem, okay? For this, I mean, I'm not trying to ruin everyone's buzz. I'm just trying to give everyone, like, what I think is, like, the reasonable what we should expect and the kind of mindset we should go into this game with, so we can enjoy what rounds WinFakt do get, or if they win a certain half, etc. My big problem is, like I say, I think the first thing that has to happen before anything else occurs is that Navi have to somehow be tactically outplayed by WinFakt. And I've been watching Lopez's teams play for a lot of years, and I have never seen them outplay in a series one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the world tactically. I've never seen it happen where, like, they actually were, like, owning them strategically, win or lose. Can you think of an example? In the whole series I'm talking about here, not just like one half or one map.
This is like versus the elite teams, yeah.
Just any of the teams who was like top 3 at the time.
I don't know, like I can't really recall. I never really kept that. I mean, the best result I could see is the one map where they 16-1 Navi on Tuscan but then they all got crushed on the next two
But then,
maps.
yeah, but then that's like a bad example because actually the next two maps they got utterly destroyed strategically themselves. Like they had nothing, no bullets left in the chamber.
But I'm just saying that that's like another thing. I mean, that's just another little argument for my Tuscan theory is just that, I mean, he did 16-1 them previously, so maybe he does know how to play versus them on Tuscan, but you never know.
Yeah, but I think he's lived off that Tuscan one map win a little bit too long at this point.
Yeah, well, I'm still saying that the favorite is for Navi. I'm just saying.
Like to me, the fact that Navi's an overwhelming favorite doesn't make this a boring matchup, and it doesn't make this a match that's not worth watching. You just have to watch it, and because you know the context, I'm talking to the viewers here mainly, because you know the context is that Navi should win, and that WinFakt will have to play amazingly to have a chance. Then the context you enjoy it in is you try and enjoy seeing like WinFakt test themselves and like push themselves to the limits and see if they can raise their game even a slight bit higher. Even if they still lose, just see what the contrast is between when they've played versus other teams before. I mean, you saw them beat FX if that was a legit win. I mean, we can't really say either way, it's conjecture. But if WinFakt were to even take a map in this series, that would be like their best performance to date as long as they've been this lineup, well, this team WinFakt as far as I'm concerned. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it's probably their best result.
I mean, how do you see that whole scenario from the WinFakt side of things?
In which sense? Just like their chance to play, like what
Like,
level
do you
they can
think
play versus
WinFakt
Tuscan?
believe they can win?
Yeah, I think a couple of those guys definitely believe they can win. Problem is if they can get all five on board and truly believe they can win, because
I don't believe that. Okay, I'm going to drop a bomb on you here. I don't believe that more than one player on that team believes they can win. Like deep down, beyond just saying that they can win. I don't think that I think Lurpus is the only person who believes they can win, because if you're a strat caller, to some degree, your team has to be super outmatched before you ever feel like you don't even have a chance, because you can always see the holes in what you did in your round, or a slight thing that, or maybe if we could have done that, we could have won that round. Whereas, so I think the strat caller always has that mentality. And so Slurpus is quite stubborn about that sort of stuff, but I think that everyone else on their team, deep down, doesn't think they can win this series and actually probably thinks they're going to lose. Like, I think the problem is, Nasu's the other guy who they need to definitely feel like he can win. But the thing is, Nasu's lost so many big games over the years that just based on my own like take on his psychology, I think he goes into the game, he just tries to put himself in a neutral state and not even think about who will win and just try and play. Because the problem is, like, he's lost so many heartbreakers that deep down he probably feels like we're probably going to lose, so I'll just try my best, but we're probably going to lose. Like, that's a problem that I noticed in this lineup once they lost Ruit, is that Ruit, the big thing about Ruit and Conte wasn't just their skills. It was that, first of all, Ruit had the most delusional self-confidence I've, like, tied with people like Zet, etc., the most delusional self-confidence in his own skills of anyone I've ever seen. Like, to Ruit, if he was going versus, like, Forrest in one-on-ones, and he plays him 100 times, he probably believes he could win like 60 of those. So even though if your whole team is made up of people like that, you'll actually be retarded and you'll do stupid mistakes all the time, to at least have one or two guys like that is a huge deal, because it means that like you can win rounds that maybe you shouldn't, or you can get a big lead on a team when it's not expected that you could, because they think that you can. And likewise for Conte in a different context, he always had that sort of confidence, at least earlier on, when they had like the stronger teams. But then that's also because he was like super arrogant from my own perception of him. Like, he thought he was better than he was, but the difference is Ruit also thought he was better than he was, but Ruit was really, really, really good, whereas I think Conte was just good and he thought he was like really good. And the reason I'm bringing this up now, bearing in mind now that these players are playing, is that the players they have left over Okay, so Plaste's gone. Nasu, like I say, has taken so many mental beatings. The problem with him is he's had so many games where he actually played amazingly. Like where he was like the second best player in the server, but his team still lost.